Hi, this is Gareth from Heartfelt Horsemanship. Jamie Lynn will be demonstrating our ridden anti-flight checks on Monkey, her gelding. The anti-flight checks is what we do every time we get on a horse to make sure that all aspects of our safety are in place. Now, the first thing you do when you get on a horse is absolutely nothing. When you get on the horse and start fiddling with the reins, or go straight to doing something, every time you get on, the horse is going to start moving around quicker. So when you get on, sit, smoke a cigarette, check your cell phone. Just let the horse get used to you sitting there with it. You've all seen the polo horses that you get one foot in the stirrup and they start galloping. That's because normally what happens with the polo horse is the guys jump on and kick the horse to go to a gallop. So the horse is avoiding the gallop, the kick to go into the gallop, so they just, as someone puts their foot in the stirrup, well, I'm going to avoid the kick and I'm going to start galloping now. So if the first thing you do is you get up and you just sit, your horse won't start presuming what's coming next. The next most important thing we can do when you're in the saddle is making sure we're going to be able to stop our horse. So the way we stop our horse is with a one rein stop. In the anti-flight checks, we're going to take it all the way through to bend them around, but when we ride, we're going to release whenever they try. So Jamie lifts her reins, slides one finger down halfway down the neck, slowly closes one finger at a time and brings it to her thigh. If the horse is standing still and puts slack in the rein, she releases. Note how slowly Jamie does this. It's very important to do it slowly because if we go quick, we engage the horse's neck muscles and they brace on us. Even if we were heading towards a cliff, I would still say do it slowly. You might not stop your horse, but you definitely won't stop them if you grab at them fast. Once they do what you ask, you're going to just wait. Not going to rush to the next command. Dwell time again matters. So when Jamie gets in front of the camera, she also starts rushing like we all do. And if you think you need to wait a little longer, wait even longer. Give your horse a rub, feel really good about it. For everything we ask, we need to give something back. Remember, we don't pat a horse. Pats are for husbands and dogs. Strokes are for dogs, for horses and wives.
Did you see how he gave you a lot of reflections? He knew what I was going to ask for. A horse that can do that on his own is a horse who's not going to go things out.
So James is just saying that before she went to the ask for Monkey, then he flexed himself laterally. That's a horse that can actually calm themselves down. Although we use this mechanism to stop our horse, it also releases dopamine and gets the horse relaxed. Standing still and giving slack very lightly. The next anti-flight check we do is the hindquarter disengagement. Jamie looks back to the hip, slides her leg back with steady pressure, lifts the rein and brings the rein to her belly button. The minute the horse steps his hindquarters, his foot across each other on the hind, we release. We're looking for that inside hind leg to cross the outside hind leg. The reason for this is that resets a horse mentally, takes him out of flight mode, gets them back into a thinking frame of mind. This is an exercise we'll use regularly when we're riding our horse. If our horse gets bothered, we're going to forget everything else we're doing, disengage them, and bring them back to us thinking.
And for even our good horses, we think about this
what Jamie brought up there is even our best horses, when we get on to do anti-flight checks, we're going to take this 5 to 10 minutes. And if something's not great, then we're going to take 20 minutes. If our horse keeps walking off when we're standing there, we could spend the entire hour, even on our best horses, bending them around to a stop, disengaging them whenever they walk off. It is crucial that a horse waits for us before a command. Looks to the hip, slides leg back, brings the rein to the belly button. Do you see the inside leg go over the outside leg?
One does nothing.
There we go. Now for your first few attempts with your horse, one step is enough. And if the horse sits on you, you're going to accept the slightest try. So you might not get a full disengagement the first time. But I would encourage you to not end a session without getting the full step. Okay, Jamie's working on the backup. Okay, for a backup, the first thing we need to do is adjust our seat. We have our feet forward of the drive line, even if it's only a little bit. Slide hand down both reins, take a rein in each hand and bring your elbows over your hips. As soon as your horse takes a step, we release. You might have noticed that for that hindquarter disengagement, Jamie didn't slide her leg back as far as she has been. As a horse gets more advanced, we're looking for them to be more perceptive to our changes. So maybe for the first month or two that you're teaching a horse, you're going to exaggerate that foot going back. But as they get more advanced, it becomes more subtle. Jamie, could you do the backup again? There we go. Slide your hand down both, split, bring your elbows over your hips, and the horse takes a step, you release. Eventually you'll be able to get to 10 steps, but for now, we just want them to understand what we're asking. Jamie's chin's up, rhythmic pressure with her legs, forward of the drive line. In terms of phases here, we're using our legs as the first phase, the rein coming up as the second phase, and then elbows over the hips as phase 3 and 4. Okay, can you show us the one just with legs for now? So when you got your horse advanced, they should be able to back up just off your seat and leg position without touching the reins. There will come a time where you need to have your legs to direct your horse backwards, and then you would want them to back up just on the reins. Okay, now Jamie's going to show us our direct rein, in other words our steering, but you'll notice we don't check this out at a standstill, especially on a young horse. Get the forward momentum first before we're asking them to turn. So what Jamie does, she's got the leg forward of the outside leg forward of the girth. She looks, puts the leg on, and then lifts the rein. And it's just a point. You'll see that just one finger on the rein. Just one finger. If you need to use any more than that, you need to bring in your driving pressure. So your rhythmic pressure would be the flap on the leg that Jamie's doing right there. She's not kicking the horse, she's just putting rhythmic pressure on there. This means we don't need to drag our horses around. That is all we need to turn our horse. That is the point of all the effort we go through in keeping our horses light, is that we can just pick up with one finger, no heavy steel in the horse's mouth, and the horse will give to us. One thing we missed there is how Jamie got Monkey moving off. Because Jamie did it right, there was absolutely no visible cue. So what Jamie's going to do, she's going to smile with all 4 cheeks, squeeze with her legs, and if the horse doesn't go, she would tap across the withers. I'm going to have her position herself sideways so we can actually see. Okay, so smile, squeeze with her legs, and he's off. Now if he didn't go, we'd tap rhythmically using rhythmic pressure. Okay, so you see how Jamie came down to the stop there without using one rein stop? She used her first phase of the stop, which is to adjust her seat. You sit deeper in the saddle, you breathe out. That should stop your horse. If it doesn't, then you follow through. Now smile, squeeze, spank yourself, and then spank your horse. I'm going to have Jamie ride around for a little while to show what we do when we're general riding. In the anti-flight checks, we follow all the way through to build the muscle memory in us and our horses. So we go through all 4 phases in the anti-flight checks every time we ride. For our general riding, when we're trying to build lightness, we're going to release on the slightest try. So Jamie's doing some rollovers, a very important calming exercise when you first get riding. Okay, this is the hindquarter disengagement. Even the hindquarter disengagement we should be able to get with just our body position and leg at some point. For now, our steering, if Jamie can steer without reins, there we go, she looks, eyes, belly button, leg. And if the horse doesn't go, we can pick up a rein. It doesn't mean we don't follow through. Jamie's going to turn to the right. There we go. So she needed very little rein there. If she asked for a stop now, just the seat is enough to stop there. Then you don't need to pick up your rein and bend your horse to a stop. This is all achieved by sticking to those phases. But once you get your horse listening, they should be able to listen to just your seat and your legs. Eyes, belly button, leg forward of the girth. Now she's not using her reins to steer him. Eyes, belly button, leg. If he kind of slows down on you, you can pick up the reins. Our goal is to use those reins as little as possible for direction or stopping them. That means that when we get to really refined riding, those reins are there for shape. Okay. Another important aspect of being particular about our rein position is that where we point our fingers on those reins applies directly to independent feet. If we lift that rein back towards that back hip, it's talking to the back legs. See that? It's talking to there where Jamie lifts the left rein up and back towards the belly button. She's talking to that back left leg. If she lifted that rein, that same rein, up and out, she's talking to the front left leg. This means that we have far more control than people realize. You can talk to individual legs. We're going through the horse's mind to the horse's feet. And we can be very particular about where we place our horse. So Jamie's got a bunch of cones there. I'm going to try and get her to place her right front on that cone in front of her. There we go. Now if you can position your horse's feet on something the size of a saucer, you've got a lot more control than the average person with a runaway that can't stop their horse on a cue. Okay, we're going to go and try and get the left front onto another cone. But the dwell time is what's teaching Monkey that he got the right answer. And you'll see the sense of pride in a horse when they figure out what we're asking for them, especially when you get into these more complicated things. Monkey's already thinking about the cone, he just doesn't know which foot Jamie's asking for. Yep. Just knocked out the way, but he got the idea. Okay. What I am going to ask Jamie once she's finished playing with the cones is to just show us what we do for downward transitions, since we don't do a one rein stop. Now this is going to be covered mainly in the mastery level of the course. But I think it's very important for people to understand that there is a way to slow your horse down without pulling on two reins. We never pull on two reins to stop or slow down a horse. So what Jamie does, she takes the horse up to a trot. She adjusts her body position to slow him down and then lifts one rein straight up. And that'll bring him back down. The reason we don't use two reins to stop a horse is that physics dictates that if you shut down forward motion, that energy's got to go somewhere. If we shut down with both reins in front of a horse, it generally means that the energy's got to go bunch up onto those two reins and you could end up with a buck. If we do it on one side, at worst the horse will turn around, but it won't have its hindquarters go up in the air. Like I said, we'll discuss this further in the Mastery Module 2. But since we're going to have you guys riding while you practice this, it's important to know that there is a way to slow your horse down. Okay. Jamie's going to show us the wrong thing. And there's shutting him down on two reins. Watch the... Yeah, he kind of bunches up. And that's the prelude to a buck. You see how much smoother it is when Jamie only uses one rein? And again, Jamie's not rushing to that one rein. It's still a slow motion. First phase is she adjusts her seat. Now there, Jamie, can you try one without using your reins? So if we do this nice and slowly with the phases, you will have your horse answering on the seat. And she slows down with her seat. That's a phase one transition downwards. That's what we're aiming for. Now those English riders watching Monkey's slow trot, that's what we call a jog in Western. It's a very rideable gait. Okay, can you show us one more with the rein? And I'll try and get the phases through. So seat comes down, lift the rein, start up slowly, and as soon as the horse gets to the gate you want, you release. Sure. Can you give us a mock of what would happen if we were walking along and we wanted to stop a horse and they didn't stop, and you have to take it all the way through the phases of a one rein stop?
I'm going to give it a try.
So Monkey will answer at the first suggestion, but Jamie's going to follow it through. You walk off, sit down with your seat, slide one rein down, you bring it to your thigh, and release as soon as they give slack. Great, that's about all we're going to do for the anti-flight checks. We do have another video of the anti-flight checks on a very young horse, its first ride ever, so you guys get an indication of what it can look like. And we'll see you guys again for module 2.